Welcome to today's very exciting video! I was thinking recently, I haven't made one of these top 10 videos in a long time. There's a lot of new players who have just picked up Ark or are getting back into the game or just want to get better. So I thought I'd go ahead and make an updated top 10 PvP tips for 2020, man. Whether you're brand new to the game or more of a moderate level player, I'm sure you're gonna find something here that's gonna up your game. Let's get right into it after a word from our sponsor. I was really excited when I got this package in the mail. I heard that Raycons are comparable to other high-end stuff, but starting at half the price. Actually, I got the Raycon everyday earbuds, and they cost less than a third of what my other ones do. Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. With 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit. It also comes in new fun colors. These are shockingly good. To my ear, Raycons have an awesome bass response with a clean high end, without being tinny at all. I've never tried earbuds in this price bracket that sound this good. In my experience, generally anything in this price range sounds thin and tinny. Even earbuds twice the price aren't this good. Great job, Raycon. I have a lot of praise for this actually. If you're thinking about buying a new pair of wireless earbuds, save your money and get some Raycons like the other cool kids, man. I'll even give you a nice 15% discount. Click my link in the description and get your Raycons while you can. buyraycon.com/thick freedom. Starting with number 10, turret draining. I'm sure you didn't expect that one to be here. Any raid in Ark is gonna require you to drain your enemy's turrets before you're able to bust in and get the juicy goodies. Raiding is a lot of work, it's hard, and the defender generally is gonna have the advantage. Once you've carefully scouted out your enemy's location, figured out the weak point in their defenses, and pushed in close enough to set up your FOB, it's time to drain those turrets. So what are the best options for turret soaking? Well, there's actually a lot of great options for this. Generally, the absolute best thing you want to have tamed is going to be your Rock Golems. The Rock Golem takes reduced damage from regular turrets and also has an advantage where you're able to completely protect the rider from being targeted by the turrets. All you have to do is look straight up with your Rock Golem and slowly back into the enemy turrets. Press K to go into third person so you can see your surroundings. Other popular options for turret draining are the Trike, gasbag, and Paracer. Note, some of these creatures have special vulnerabilities, as well as armored parts on their bodies, which need to be taken into consideration. The Trike has an armored head, which makes it generally great for draining just about any kind of turret. You'll want to avoid taking hits to the body though. It takes standard damage with body shots. The Megachelon takes enhanced damage from regular turrets, but standard damage from tech turrets. Did I mention the Megachelon a moment ago? I don't think I did. Well, yeah, the Megachelon is another great option anyway. Its shell is armored, so backing up into enemy tech turrets is very effective. The gas bag is an excellent option for draining turrets when possible. The problem with this one is if you have to ride it, you're a sitting duck. Mr. Rock Golem, while possibly being the single best soaker of the bunch, is particularly weak against tech turrets. So make sure you consider all of these points before the raid. Of course, you're gonna want to get your hands on some high quality saddles too. A good saddle will massively reduce the damage that your soaker receives. Number 9, super soakers. Let's kick it up a notch. To enhance your turret soakers even more, make sure you bring along with you a U-Tyrannus and a Deodon. Having well-bred soakers wearing high-tier saddles along with these two makes for a disgusting combo. The Deodon will allow your dinos to heal at an accelerated rate. That way they can get back in and soak even more bullets, While the U-Tyrannus has the ability to buff the defense of the Soakers by a huge 20%. Absolutely a difference you can feel. It might not sound like a lot, but that actually is a lot. If you're using herbivores like the Trike, you can keep tasty veggie cakes in their inventory and use those in addition to the Deodon to heal even faster. I have in-depth videos covering all of these creatures in depth in my Everything You Need to Know playlist. Go check that out. For those of you wanting to learn something new, bear with me. I want to cover some of the more basic things for our new or returning players before we get into some of the more obscure tips I've got for you. Anyway, coming in at number 8, rocket running, man! One of the most classic raiding tactics ever. All you have to do is have a character with a hugely boosted movement speed and ideally some extra HP, drink some beer to increase your damage resistance, then you just run straight at the enemy turret wall with a rocket launcher. Blow yourself up once you reach the turrets and bang! You are in! This method can be enhanced by using high quality flak armor blueprints to give yourself high damage resistance, riot shields to get in close before taking hits or to reduce how many hits you're taking, and focal chili to increase your movement speed by an additional 25%. If you combine all of these things at once, this method is really strong. Number 7, let's talk about how to easily destroy cliff bases. If whoever you're raiding was dumb enough to make a cliff base. There's a number of ways to take advantage of this really bad building decision by an enemy tribe. If you happen to run into a base where players were silly enough to use cliff platforms, after what you're about to do to them, they're going to seriously regret it building their bases like this. See, this is really easy to take advantage of because there's a serious flaw here. First of all, depending on the height of the cliff base, often what you can do is you can easily build below their cliff base in just a vertical line all the way up to their base. Then bring the whole thing down. Easy peasy. There's other options that you can use too. Let's call this the Quetzal tube method. What you do is you simply make a big platform on the back of a Quetz so that you're protected from turrets and other damage. Then you simply extend the tube off of the platform as kind of a breaching platform and hug the wall underneath their base, slowly flying up, allowing the breaching tube to intersect with the enemy's base. From here, the rest is going to be a piece of cake. You can even throw C4 straight through your walls directly onto an enemy platform. Be very careful though. If you aren't careful, the anti-meshing system will destroy the objects on the back of your Quetz. So be cautious using this method. Coming in at number 6, I'm gonna call this one snake busting. This is probably one of the coolest methods I've ever seen for destroying enemy turrets, and it's very easy to do. You're gonna need a basilisk. This is essentially just an enhanced rocket run, but using the basilisk's ability to dig underground in order to get in close before the enemy turrets can target you and take you out. All you have to do is dig a hole, get close to the turrets, and then pop out and blow up that turret wall before you die. Super cool method. Advantage of this is that in some cases where possible, this could be your primary way to break into a base without needing to go through that whole lengthy process of draining the turrets first. Number 5! The Universal Vault Code! Man! You've done it! You were successful in your raid! Congratulations! And now you gotta deal with a huge hallway of vaults. How are we gonna crack all these things open, man? Could use a lot of C4, but why waste the materials? A much better plan is to just have someone equipped with a tech sword, or multiple people, and then start wailing on those vaults. At this point, you probably have plenty of time to sit there and whittle away at the vault's HP anyway. This is safe, because you don't risk losing anything really valuable, and obviously you can break the vault no matter where it's located. It might be hard to work with a dino or explosives in some situations. What's awesome is you can also get blueprints with higher damage numbers to get into vaults even faster. Number 4, alien soaking. This is another one of those really cool things that I've seen players do, which maybe should seem obvious, but probably isn't for a lot of people. The tech skiff has the ability to carry both small and large creatures. This is more of an end game tip, okay? I know not everyone has a tech skiff, I get it. Anyway, you can pick up whatever creature you need for the job, like Trike's, an excellent choice for this purpose. You can use your tractor beam to slowly guide your Trike into the path of turret fire, and then when it gets low, just set it down and grab something else. You can also have somebody riding on the creature held by your alien beam. This can be useful so that you actually know when your creature's HP is starting to get low. You can even pick up a Rock Golem with the tech skiff. Think about that. This leads me to number 3, which fits in perfectly with the last point. How to disable anything. Anything that flies, at least. If you're on the receiving end of someone using this tech skiff method, you're not defenseless. The easiest way to deal with a tech skiff is to just grapple onto it and take it out with C4, if that's an option. Obviously, there's other ways to do this. There's also an excellent way to disable anything else that flies, too. Flyers almost always have very low weight, so when you go into a raid, or if you're playing defense, you should always try to keep a near full inventory of heavy stuff, so that when you grapple onto an enemy flyer, you can actually completely halt their ability to move, period. And then once they're stuck, it's pretty easy to take out the tame or to shoot the player off of the back of their tame. Coming in at number 2, I want to take a minute to just stop and talk about something that a lot of people have a bad attitude about. I've seen a lot of players who are just an awful shot. They can't hit the broadside of a titanosaur to save their life. I remember the old Ark days. Guns weren't super viable. The meta was completely different back then. Now, guns are pretty commonly used in PvP. Whether it's to shoot an enemy off their tame, kill creatures from a distance, or just as a general PvP tool when you're fighting survivor versus survivor on the ground. I want to encourage you to practice your aim. There's a lot of really great aim trainers on Steam you can use for this purpose. There's this annoying attitude a lot of people have where they think that your aim in shooter games is either just good and you're blessed with talent, or you're bad and you will always be a terrible shot. Let me tell you, that's not true, Billy. Anybody can actually be really proficient at shooter games. You just need a little bit of practice. And that's where these aim trainers are fantastic. There's a lot of good free ones and paid ones. And I can tell you from my own experience after practicing, I improved significantly. So before you go into a raid or just for the heck of it, you should spend a couple of minutes a day training this very fundamental skill. Especially given that in Ark, you don't really spend a lot of time shooting. So you want to be warmed up so that when it is time to go in, you're ready. Now, about how guns work in Ark. Shooting is a lot easier in Ark because there's no bullet travel. Guns are hit scan. What that means is Arc guns are basically just a laser. The bullet instantly hits its target with no delay or drop. You can be a mile away and headshot some scrub right off their little tame, and with practice, you'll be able to do that. Anybody who is playing on a PvP server has no excuse not to improve their aim. It's like a Navy SEAL, man. A Navy SEAL isn't always in combat, but they spend most of their time in training, so that in combat, they perform. Become an Ark Navy SEAL, dude. And finally, coming in at number 1, pay to win. Ark is a big game. Over the years, there's been lots of new content added. This means naturally certain aspects of the game are going to be unbalanced, or that there's going to be little things here and there you can take advantage of to make the game work for you. If you can, I definitely recommend you get the DLC. Extinction, for example, is an awesome map to start rapidly grinding out levels. Genesis has easy little missions you can complete to get kitted out without even needing to craft anything. On Crystal Isles, you can tame fully matured wyverns like it's a joke, then transfer them. This final tip could be its own giant video, but I don't have to make that video because someone else actually did. I'm going to give a huge shout out to Apex who made an excellent, massive 50-minute guide explaining all of this. You can check out his video in the description. Whew, that was a lot to cover. Hopefully you learned something new. Check out my Everything You Need to Know playlist to learn more about any dinos I mentioned here. As an aside, would you be interested in seeing new Everything You Need to Know guides on older creatures I never covered? Let me know in the comments.